Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Naperville Township Board Town Levy Public Hearing Agenda. I'd like to ask everybody to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Anderson.
Here.
Mel.
Here.
Osira.
Here.
Santucci. Here. Wagner. Here. All present.
All right, all of the members of the board are present. This is the town levy public hearing. The truth and taxation law requires that a public hearing be held if the board's is proposed to increase the property tax levy by more than is allowed by the property tax extension limitation law before adopting that levy. In our meeting, our open session meeting tonight, we do have the town levy on the agenda. We are not proposing an increase in the levy, but rather a decrease, but we still do want to provide the public with an opportunity to address the board before we adopt the tax levy for transparency and accountability purposes. So I'd like to go ahead and open the hearing for public remarks. I don't believe that there are any public remarks this evening, so we need a motion to adjourn the town levy public hearing.
So moved. Second?
Okay, please call the roll.
Anderson.
Yes.
Mel.
Yes.
Osira.
Yes.
Santucci.
Yes.
Wagner.
Yes.
So the town levy public hearing is adjourned. We will now move into the Naperville Township road levy public hearing. Please, we will dispense with the Pledge of Allegiance. We've already had that recited, so we'll go ahead and call the roll.
1 second, please. Anderson.
Yes.
Mel.
Here.
Santucci.
Here.
Osira.
Here.
Wagner.
Here.
All the board members are present, and again, we're having the road levy public hearing this evening as a matter of protocol. There is no increase proposed in the road district levy, but as an act of open transparency and accountability, we do want to give the public the opportunity to make any comments before the board considers the adoption of the levy. Are there any comments from the public? I would like to ask for a motion to close the road levy public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Please call the roll.
Anderson.
Yes.
Santucci.
Yes.
Wagner.
Yes.
Osira.
Yes.
Mel.
Yes.
Okay, and so the road levy public hearing is closed.
1 second. To the third set of minutes. 6:04. Thank you.
I'd like to call to order the Naperville Township Board of Trustees open session meeting for November 1st, 2016. Again, we will dispense with the Pledge of Allegiance because it has already been recited this evening. So please call the roll.
Anderson.
Here.
Mel.
Here.
Osira.
Here.
Santucci.
Here.
Wagner. Here.
Okay, and so all of the board members are present. We have a quorum. We are able to conduct business. Are there any addenda to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on to public comments. I understand that Cindy Swanson has requested the opportunity to address the board this evening. Ms. Swanson, the floor is yours for 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just want to move around here. Just take the opportunity for two things. A couple of weeks ago, I hosted an employment expo at the church where I worked. Our Savior's Lutheran Church has a pretty robust disability ministry, and we invited somebody from Wright and Page to come and talk about it. And I will disclose it. Jenny came and she manned a table, or womaned a table, and it was quite active, and I was very thankful that somebody was there representing Right to Page, because if we want people with disabilities to go to work, we need them to get to work, because most of us can't drive. So I'm very thankful that Jenny had the opportunity to do that, and I extend my appreciation. And I guess I'd really like the board to know what a fabulous employee she is. I know you know that, but I want to let you know that. The other thing I want to mention is that we're still here, those of us who use Right to Page, and we are thankful that the supervisors, administration, whatever, are still meeting to try to hammer this out. But you need to know how important it is to us, and we just want to thank you. I'm speaking for people who use it, 4,000 rides a month just to Naperville alone, that it is important. So it is appreciated. And I know we don't have resolution yet, but it sounds to me like we're climbing upwards on this hill. So I'm just here to thank you for that. So.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other public comment this evening? We will move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to establish a consent agenda?
So move. Second.
Please, any discussion on establishing the consent agenda? All right. Please call the roll.
Anderson?
Yes.
Mel?
Yes.
Belcira?
Yes.
Santucci?
Yes.
Wagner?
Yes.
All right, so the consent agenda is established. We need a motion to approve the consent agenda, which is the October 11th, 2016 regular meeting open session minutes, the third quarter 2016 report from Community Career Center, and the approval of the third quarter 2016 quarterly investment report. Moved by
Second.
Santucci, seconded by Anderson. Any discussion? Okay, please call the roll.
Anderson?
Yes.
Mel?
Yes.
Santucci?
Yes.
Wagner?
Yes.
Belcira?
Yes, and the consent agenda is unanimously approved. We will move on to old business. The only item we have for old business is an update on Ride to Page, and I'm really happy to see Ms. Swanson here this evening. I can report that the township supervisors, Supervisor Lyle Township, Tarula, Supervisor Wheatland Township, Kern, and myself met just a little over a week ago. We met on the 24th of October, and we had two things that we discussed. We discussed the current year, and we discussed next year. Everything has to be brought before our board, so this is all premature to it coming before our boards, but we essentially agreed on a usage-based approach for 2017 based on miles. We got to that agreement very quickly. That will ultimately be communicated to PACE, but we also understand PACE is working on real-time, or they're actually working on usage data itself, so they're going to be very much more helpful. We then talked about 2016 and the situation, and where we basically have a timing issue with being able to convert to a usage-based approach with different groups doing budgets at different times. So we came to an agreement about how to resolve that. Wheatland Township is working on preparing for us an understanding of, they've been short paying PACE based on what their board had originally approved. We agreed that we were all in this together to serve the public, and that we would try to put a compromise in front of our boards in the month of November, December to close out 2016, where we share in the difference that hasn't been paid. So that's where we're at, with that. So they're working on the numbers. They're going to meet with their board on November 10th, and we really need to hear from their board first. So once that happens, I'll come back to this board. Okay. But it's very, very positive, and we know that it's a nationally recognized program, and it's an amazing program. So all the supervisors are in agreement. That's an extremely important program, and I'm confident that will work together. We need support from our boards to get through this and put the program where it needs to be going into 2017.
Can I ask a question? So did I hear right that we may all share the difference in that, even though our ridership, I mean, I'm all in support of it, I'm just asking. So basically, we're covering part of Wheatland, is that right? To get this over with for this year?
That, we have to see what the numbers are, so that, I want
Okay.
to see what the numbers are, yes.
Okay, well then for sure, I would think we all need to be talking to that board and
Yes.
at least for next year, because I'm not really in
And they'll be
favor of
moving
doing
to
that
a completely
again.
different place for next year.
Okay.
Yes, that's,
Okay.
it's all coupled together.
Okay.
You can't do one
All
without
right,
the other.
look forward to hearing that.
That's-
Okay.
That's the intent.
Okay.
Is that we would help them, and then they will move into a completely different place. They've been carrying the ball for all of us for years. They've been overpaying their share for years. So we need to get through this one tight spot and all come together and do
Okay.
that, and that's what we're going to
So
try to do.
Wheatland's been overpaying their.
They have been overpaying for years, overpaying their share considerably.
Based on the existing formula right now?
Based on the actual usage.
Usage,
Yes,
okay.
by a lot, by a
Okay.
lot. So
Okay,
we're all.
that's a new development that I didn't.
Yeah, no, that's,
Okay.
that was the whole thing that came up a year ago.
Okay.
When we wanted to try to change it.
It was over, but not.
So, yeah, so we're getting very close. We'll move on to new business. The first item is a resolution to approve the holiday schedule for the township for 2017. Is there a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
Any discussion? Okay, please call the roll.
Anderson?
Yes.
Baum?
Yes.
Alcira?
Yes.
Santucci?
Yes.
Wagner?
Yeah.
All right, so the 2017 holiday schedule is approved for Naperville Township. We'll move on to 9.2, which is to adopt the 2017 board meeting schedule, which you have before you. Includes a budget workshop on January 7th. Is there a motion to approve?
I move to approve the board meeting schedule. Second.
Okay, any discussion? Please call the roll.
Anderson?
Yes.
Mal?
Yes.
Alcira?
Yes.
Santucci?
Yes.
Wagner?
Yes.
So the board meeting schedule for 2017 is also approved. We'll move on to item 9.3, which is to adopt the 2016 Naperville Township Tax Levy Ordinance in the amount of $1,745,400. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
A second.
I just want to point out that this is a reduction of $200,000 from the previous 3 years levy. It's a reduction of 10.3%, as we discussed last month when we did the estimated taxes. It was done through a bottom-up analysis, the assessor's office and my office working together to come to this. It's a reduction due to sustainable savings from technology improvements, productivity improvements, reductions in personnel costs. It also includes higher costs for general assistance, so we have gone up in that area. You'll also see, in the packet, you'll see a table of the history of the tax levy, and you can see that number. I only went back to 2009. We haven't been at that number for a tax levy, the levy itself, in probably at least 10 years. The tax extension is what the taxpayers finally see. That has bounced around in recent years because of abatements. It had been running around 1.8 million, 1.9 million for a number of years. The reserves got too high. There were some big abatements done to run those reserves back to where they should be, but that's not an appropriate way to operate. Long-term, the appropriate thing to do is to return the money to the taxpayers and to make a permanent cut in the levy. And so I really appreciate the motion and the second from the board tonight. Are there any questions? Please call the roll.
Anderson?
Yes.
Mal?
Yes.
Alcira?
Yes.
Santucci?
Yes.
Wagner?
All right, so we have unanimously approved the Township Tax Levy Ordinance. Move on to 9.4, which is a road district transfer appropriation of $15,000 in the Special Hard Road Fund, moving it from maintenance service to engineering services. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Anderson?
Yes.
Mel?
Yes.
Santucci?
Yes.
Wagner?
Yes.
Osira?
Yes. So it's unanimously approved. And then we'll move on to the road district levy. We have before us a levy ordinance from the road district for 2016 taxes in the amount of $1,524,000. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved?
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Anderson?
Yes.
Mel?
Yes.
Osira?
Yes.
Santucci?
Yes.
Wagner?
Yes.
And so the road district levy for 2016 is also unanimously approved. Our next item, 9.6, is a placeholder. Commissioner Watasiak, do you have your travel policy tonight, or do you want to table that?
I don't think Rick has it finished yet.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Watasiak and I talked about putting this on the agenda. His attorney is preparing the policy in the event that it was ready tonight, so instead we will just move on. Do we need an action on that?
Do we have to table?
No, I mean, there's been no vote, so there's nothing to
Okay,
table.
so,
9.6.
yeah, we're just not going to do anything.
No action.
No action. And we'll take it up when it's ready. We'll move on to reports. Assessor?
We concluded the 30-day period of appeal filings for this year. We came in with 306 appeals, 43 of them in one filing. It's a record low again, so as we are able to reduce our cost along with the supervisor's office, we're able to increase our accuracy as we were measured again with unheard of numbers at 8.05 COD. That's a coefficient of dispersion for our accuracy levels. We recognize that the #1 jurisdiction of our size in the state. Doing that, it's a fairness and equitable position for taxpayers in Naperville Township, so we're excited to do that. We'll be heading into defending our assessments here starting on November 16th with our first day of hearings up at DuPage County. That's where our staff and my staff and the rest of us go up and defend the value that we place on the properties as fair and equitable on behalf of all the other taxpayers. So we're excited to do that. We're excited that we've had a limited number of appeals, and our staff has been able to handle that on the front end instead of the back end. And we look forward to closing up the year of 2016 and starting a new one, 2017, which looks for more of a level appreciation in the township of roughly about 3% as we look at our tentative factor heading into 2017 with a factor from the Illinois Department of Revenue for 3%, which is a weighted factor weighted 96% to residential, and the remaining, of course, commercial and industrial property at that. So, that's all I got.
Very good. Thank you. Commissioner Watasiak?
No report tonight.
Thank you. Our town clerk?
Voting by mail has closed. Early voting is still available at designated locations in the township and throughout the county. People can still vote at the Election Commission up through November 7th, the day before the election, in person.
Very good. Thank you. My report will be brief. I just want to remind everyone that we are acting as a collection site here for the Chicagoland Homeless Veterans Coat Drive. We've got a box out front. We're going to be collecting through November 14th. So it's for men's gently used or new coat size large through quadruple XL, and women's extra large through triple XL. These are going to go to homeless veterans on a stand-down day on November 18th at the Humboldt Park Armory. So if you have anything, please bring it in here to us or bring it to one of the Naperville Public Libraries or any of the BMO Harris banks in Naperville or the 203 administrative offices. Really appreciate it. And then we may have to have a special meeting later this month for the health insurance. The Blue Cross Blue Shield is just released the information packets for next year. Our broker is working on that. We're supposed to make our election by December 1st, but we don't have the information yet, so I will keep the board apprised, but I may be calling a special meeting of the board for that. All right, trustee Anderson,
No report.
trustee Mom,
No report.
trustee Santucci.
Just briefly want to say that being in commercial real estate, I've had a lot of contacts with commercial brokers and tenants in Naperville Township, and they have nothing but the highest praise for our assessor and the assessor's office and the job they're doing. So just wanted to pass that on. And also say go Cubs.
I'm glad for that. Thank you. Trustee Wagner.
No report.
Okay. Our attorney.
No report.
Okay. There's no closed session tonight, so all we need is a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Sign.
We are adjourned.